So many countries in the last century have been trying to support civil rights. But can a civil rights movement become hypocritical? Can a human rights movement become hypocritical? Iran, after all, claims that they support these poor Palestinians while they simultaneously destroy their own society from within. They are simultaneously taking away freedoms for their own country while blaming the West for not taking away freedom. In fact, Israel does not take away tons and tons of freedoms from the Palestinians. And even if they did, can you really compare that to a country like Iran? And is it Iran's fault that their own government's corrupt? Should they really be blaming other governments? What should they have against a government that isn't going to bomb them, that doesn't threaten to wipe them off on a map? Does America point nukes at Iran on a daily basis? Are they trying to build weapons of mass destruction to specifically attack Iran? Do they make anti-Iranian statements? No. They just oppose a very bad government owned by Ahmadinejad. So even if we somehow take away a little bit of liberty from our citizens, it still can't be compared to how much liberty a person in Iran or North Korea might lose. But let's look at a more African example. South Africa, a country that was once threatened by apartheid, a country that Western countries gave up on, became the exact opposite of what they should be. They're a country where the native South Africans loot the street, destroy their own culture. They are destroying their own economy, and their government is 1,000 times more corrupt than it was 30 years ago. Their government is supported by people who claim they support civil rights, but clearly taking away rights from non-native South Africans and non-black people doesn't sound like civil rights. That sounds more like the Nation of Islam or the Black Panthers. What have they done to make civil rights better? What has Al Sharpton done to make civil rights better? Or Jesse Jackson? Clearly, if you support civil rights, you cannot support a government run by thugs. You're only giving civil rights a bad name by doing that. In fact, many non-blacks are leaving South Africa because they're tired of your corrupt government. So maybe the South Africans out there who are watching this should really stop supporting a disgusting totalitarian regime. And even if it's not totalitarian, it's corrupt enough to become one. And even though there was poor people back when it was the so-called apartheid state, it has become a more corrupt country with more poor people. And that, in fact, there's more poor non-blacks than there ever was in South Africa. So clearly, somebody has ruined the economy. Of course, they have a lefty media. They're all about civil rights, unless you're not native South African. In fact, Zimbabwean immigrants that are running away from an actual totalitarian regime, whose currency is worth nothing. In fact, $1 billion of their currency is not even a euro or a pound. The Zimbabwean immigrants are not treated nicely by these native South African immigrants. Native South African citizens. As if there's a difference between two different groups of thugs. So really, South Africans should start learning things from the right side of history and stop supporting a government that wants to brainwash them into hating the West and hating Western values. And this whole blacks-only thing is not civil rights. That's discrimination.